Let's go finish off Remy Buxiplintis little adventure. God, oh, we did the bad part. I always do the bad part first because I don't want to end on the bad note, not the sad note. Man, man, I don't even know what to think anymore. I'm still not feeling great. Today was weird. Like, suddenly a giant rain cloud came across and it was storming and thundering and lightninging and windy and raining all over, and then bloop, gone. Mysterious. And it's also extremely hot for some reason. It's a very strange weather today. Today is truly the most mysterious of days. And I burped. I suddenly remember I did like this song, despite it being the song for this story. That's gotta be clumsy though. Like, again, why doesn't it just have like a carry basket for that? Is this supposed to be a joke? Is this supposed to be a joke, Remy Buxiplenty? There we go. A little emphasis, like, it would take a couple trips if you did it alone. Just add a little bit of emphasis to what your mentality is. Help him. Goddamn. Reminds me of, I just love how in Wonderful 101 there's a fucking button mash and the prompt is Protect Earth. Ah! I just love it when prompts are stupid like that. You gotta get hype to mash a button, and the only way to get hype is to have a hype prompt. Something to really remind you of what video games are really about. Giant letters. So here's the thing that gets me, is, does he do this normally? Like, does Remy, like, on normal days, does Remy even bother, or does he just, actually, considering he's mostly at work, I highly doubt he gives a shit. Oh, thank you, Skype's updated, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit about Skype. Goddamn. What the fuck is this? No, really, what the... That's weird. That's really weird. So how was that? That really looked like it was... Yeah, it was him. I guess he deleted his image or something. Huh. Mysterious. Very mysterious. We are left with an enigmatic mystery. It's kind of weird, though, that Remy is... like, what's his angle? What's his angle? The angle, of course, is that we can get him to trip over and get that stupid little splash screen where he goes, "Oh no, not the video games!" Why does he have a dessert fork? Like, he probably can't use cutlery, so why would he bother with them? Why would they make cakes? Like, cakes are a thing you eat with cutlery. They're not something you eat with your hands. If you want to eat something fancy with your hands, you just make something you can eat with your hands instead of cake. So, how? He's old enough that he probably knows not to do this, you know? Like, I've rarely ever seen a person do something this stupid, where they're, like, on all fours and they're, like, to try to grab with the other hand. Usually, when they try to do that, it's like they want to catch something, but not when they are also balancing something else, you know? It's more like getting the extra distance than I need to grab. Like, what is he trying to do? Save face that he has to go back and pick it off the ground? Like, it's not like anyone's gonna die. It's a very odd thing to panic over. Whew. How does he even, like, how does he move forward? Like, he has to hop. Because if he ever lifts his third foot and doesn't immediately land back on, he'd always fall. Man, that's gotta look super awkward. Like, how does the cake stay on? Or the fork, for that matter? Why didn't he just stick the fork in the cake so it doesn't fall out as easy? It's also really clean. Like, if you look at the graphic, it's really clean. Like, there's a couple of bits of cake, but it's not like the usual kind of mess where there's a smear on the ground and there's something on him too. He also now has weird insect mesh. His wing appears to split down the middle at some point. Like, it's now a spanned wing instead of just being... Oh, I love this. I love how Damien... Oh, Damien, you got nice legs. What the fuck is... Why did they make those in your coat? Did he cut them open or something? He didn't, because that's not what they look like. Why does he even bother wearing a coat then? Why not just wear an apron? Yeah, here he doesn't have that. Like, this Remy is very off-model. He suddenly has an underside, implying that his bone structure splits very early on and then goes outward. He also has a lot more of a serpentine body. Otherwise, they tend to look a bit more chunky. And here it looks very smooth and sleek. Also, his little pouty mouth. Why does he have a little pouty mouth? Oh. Like, oh man, someone uses the eraser trick or has a circle tool, because that ain't... Yeah. The thing that bothers me, though, is... For all the artists they have, somehow they let some people basically go off-model with the characters to these extents. Like, whatever their fingers are tipped with nails at the end, or whatever their entire fingers are nails. Like, there's a lot of anatomical inconsistencies that kind of ruin a lot of how it's presented. Oh man, I can't look at this and think straight. Oh. Like, the noises make it sound like there's a fucking bug in my headset. But I'm pretty sure there's nothing there. What a weird dream last night. It's a nightmare, actually. Haven't had a nightmare in a while. The nightmare was giant bacteria. Mostly spooky because they were giant. Like, bigger than a fucking cow or something, you know. Like, big enough that it doesn't matter what they are. They're spooky, you know. And that was a whole bunch of shooting, too. That's what I get for watching crappy videos of crappy shooters before bed. Running starts. Loading ready run. Give it a go. I'm kind of sad they didn't go further with it because it is the kind of shitty game that looks like it wouldn't go on for too long and it'd be worth going through all of it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll have the patience. No, I don't. I've decided this ahead of time. I'm sorry. It's not just the cake. Oh man, that's rude. Did they already decide whose slice was whose? Whomst? You should resign. Consequences be damned. Walk into her office with a gun and say, "God damn it, you'll fire me or I'm going to shoot up this place." And then you shoot at her signs and her mirrors. It's like, I could just send in a pink slip and say, "No! You have to shoot up the place. Make sure she remembers the fury and rage of Remy Bucks aplenty." Like, no reason. He just picks a gun and starts shooting the place up. And he's like, "Apparently this is how humans do it." He doesn't even understand. All he knows is that he's probably gonna get arrested. You have proper hands. Depending on the picture you use for reference. I thought he said he wasn't a librarian, he was an archivist. Why does he degrade himself like this? If you're being nasty with yourself, wouldn't you be like, "I can't be an archivist"? Because you could probably be a librarian just fine. It's the fact that he has to handle sensitive artifacts that's the problem, not the books. I'm pretty sure you could be a librarian. Nobody gives a shit if a book hits the ground. Maybe the cover's a bit scuffed up, but nobody cares. What the fuck is the word for this? Ah! I mean, I might as well show you that I've actually been... I don't use this, but I decided to look it up. The first version of D&D, for no fucking reason. I just thought it'd be fun. Take a look at the past! An archifa... Yeah, I thought it was that, but that's a weird word. What customers? You're a library/archive! You don't sell things! If anything, you just lend books, but that's not customers. Those are called patrons. They are patrons of the art. God damn it, Remy. You don't even understand your own job. Which I think should be a good enough reason to stop. If you don't know what your job is, you shouldn't have it, you know? Like, how does he even get his job if he doesn't understand what his job actually is and what the people that come show up... Like, does he think Emra is a customer? Like, what is she... It's just a mess. I don't think Emra ever has to show up at the library either, despite being Minister of Culture and Arts. It's kind of interesting that Emra's like, I can't fire him, and Remy is like, I can't quit. They both want to get rid of each other, but they can't. Why don't you just marry her? Because she wants to have babies and they can't have babies. Yeah, that's also kind of a point, is Remy probably didn't expect to get the job in the first place. But then why did he apply? Like, what was the idea? Here's the thing. Don't jokingly apply for a job, ever. Don't. If you don't get it, you still set up an expectation, and if you do get it, what are you gonna do now? Like, what was his angle? Like, I don't think it's ever explained what Remy's angle is. Yeah, but here's the thing. If Emma does this to have fun, to laugh at you, then doesn't that, like, make her position pretty bad, too? Because she still has to take, like, part of the blame for all the shit that breaks, you know? Okay, so for some reason, my right arm's elbow, like the bottom bone, is acting up a bit, and it's feeling very annoying against the wood, which is annoying, because, you know, it feels awkward. Ugh. Yeah. What's going on outside? Oh, it's just some dudes. Oh, they're trimming the green. It's not a hedge. It's really not a hedge. It's more like there's just a little part, and there's like a little section besides the sidewalk that's just full of shrubbery. You know, a couple of shrubs, some ferns, cool shit. And they're trimming it. Which is odd, because most people here do have lawns and backyards, so it's kind of weird we have all this shrubbery around. I gotta pee. This is not the time. You gotta bite through the sour apple, as the Dutch would say. Wow. You're sharing a slice. It's interesting because with Emra, she just keeps talking about it. With Remy, it's like, let's not talk about this. Okay, we'll not talk about this. Emra's like, Jesus, man. I came here to talk about politics and you're just endlessly jabbering about your own situation. Jeepers creepers, man. Jeepers belly creepers. Hey, just making sure this heard a little click, which made me think that something broke. Is there a difference? Like, I think tart is cake and pie is fuck, now I don't know anymore. Yeah, of course he eats half with a single bite. He's A, huge, and B, can't use a fork. I like how your character doesn't seem to understand that's how that works. Your dog isn't suddenly going to eat tiny bites because you have a tiny fork. This is not practical. You know? Are you going to eat tiny bites because a tiny insect man is eating tiny bites? No! That's not how it works. Maybe he's just happy that he can put things behind him for once. You know, it's kind of weird, because normally they're like, I'm gonna call you, and here it's like, no. Yeah, like, you don't set up the next date at all. Which makes sense. Like, here's something to consider. It's entirely possible that Remy wasn't originally supposed to commit suicide, or it was supposed to be something else. Like, the way it's set up, like, the way you can look at it is, this whole not sure what to think is supposed to leave the option that he still dies or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Though that doesn't make any sense, because most characters, it's kind of obvious that you've stopped them from dying, and Remy requires you to actively annoy him for that to happen. So it's kind of an odd situation. Man, like... Wasn't much of an evening. Like, the majority of the evening is Remy making food. And not being that... Okay. Also, I can't believe there's an adventure called The Biggest Dungeon. World's Biggest Dungeon. Why does that exist? Also, White Plume Mountain. It's apparently one of those dungeons they keep remaking in Dungeons & Dragons. There we go. Remy solved. Look at this dork. Dorkosaurus Rex! Yeah, the funny thing that I just don't like, though, is... Skull. Skull. Only used for the RPG. The RPG! I love this. I love how the fucking flashlight works. Okay. For some reason, this one's shared between two characters, which is kind of weird. They have this cave, which for some reason... I don't know. Maybe they use the 3D environment for situations, but then this doesn't make sense. Also, this place doesn't make any sense. Because this is the underground area. I'm just confused. And then this is like an actual picture of a place. Painted over, presumably. Anyway, in. Yeah, Remy's apartment looks so much different when the wood is a nice brown. Like, the couches look a bit more blended in. The table, the detailing is just so mysterious. What is going on with your second date, Remy? I can see past those lying eyes. I can see the truth. Mr. Webbed Wings.